This video is brought to you by Babble. That's right, you're going to be hearing my weird inflections and voice, but now in Espanol. Stick around until the end of the video to find out more. Maybe I can learn whatever language she's speaking.
Christmas!
Christmas. Such a wonderful time of the year. It's a holiday based on love for your fellow man and being kind and generous to one another. And after suffering the difficult year that was 2020, I think we all deserve some rest and relaxation. So, put on some comfy pajamas, get yourself a nice cup of hot cocoa, and cuddle up next to the fireplace because it's Christmas time and everything is going to be okay. Psych! You thought this roller coaster was over? You thought you could get off the ride? I don't think so. The ride only ends when you're embraced by the sweet release of death. And guess what? I got you all on life support, so you're not going anywhere. Nurse, wheel it in. Right now, some of you all are going, wow, late to the party much, Saber? Other reviewers have already covered Rapsittie Street Kids Believe in Santa back in 2016. And you know what I have to say about that? So for those who don't know, Rapsittie Street Kids Believe in Santa was a movie that became infamous online back in late 2016. Why? Well, for a few reasons. Number one, it's ugly as sin. One of the most grotesque things I've ever seen. And a terrible story on top of that. Number two, this thing actually aired on television back in 2002, and then became lost media for over a decade afterwards. But would eventually resurface in 2015. And then there's point number three. This movie features some very distinguished voice actors. Jodie Benson, the voice of Ariel, Paige O'Hara, the voice of Belle, and then Mark Hamill, the voice of Star Wars. Like, what blood pact did these people make with the devil? Cause working on this movie must have been part of their punishment. Again, a lot of other channels have already reviewed this movie, so I'm probably not going to add too much when it comes to hot takes or research. But I do see Rapsittie Street Kids as a rite of passage for reviewers. And now it is my time to tread the path. And I'm bringing you all along with me. One more thing to suffer before 2020 is over. I mean, we're this close to being done. What else could possibly happen to make things worse? Hey, why is the sky getting so dark? So who are the people responsible for Rapsittie Street Kids Believe in Santa? Well, the main fellow behind the operations is a guy named Colin Slater, the director, writer, and producer of the film. Colin here is a bit of a mystery. According to IMDb, he's only credited for Rapsittie Street Kids and then Wolf Tracer's Dinosaur Island. Though his bio says he's been involved with making music for television, but none of it is listed in his filmography. Also, according to this, he has a Grammy? Let's just hope it wasn't for Rapsittie Street Kids. Colin has a YouTube and a Twitter, and both of them reflect stuff about Rapsittie Street Kids. So I guess that's actually him? Also, I love how his handle is just director. Plus, I stumbled across a tweet where he's ripping into the Nostalgia Critic, being like, hey, he stole my movie. Call the FBI? There were two studios involved in the making of Rapsittie Street Kids, Wolf Tracer Studios and J. Rose Productions. Now, I'm 99% sure that Wolf Tracer Studios belonged to Colin and was a way for him to get into computer animation, which was booming around the early 2000s. Too bad that no one told him that you have to know how to animate in order to make animated movies. J. Rose Productions is a bit of a mystery too. But there was a post about it on Twitter from a Kennedy Rose back in June of 2016. According to her, Christopher Rose is her father, and he and his friends came up with the idea of Rapsittie Street Kids and created J. Rose Productions, a studio that is known for... Oh, that's it? Oh god, this is going to suck, isn't it? They then teamed up with Wolf Tracer Studios, who would handle the animation for the movie. A big mistake. Kennedy Rose said that the film cost over $500,000 to make, but that Christopher Rose never checked in on the production itself. He only saw the final product when it aired. By the way, this movie legitimately aired on TV channels. Like, Warner Brothers gave permission to show this movie on their stations. I honestly couldn't imagine what was going through a person's mind while watching this back in 2002. You thought you were getting Rudolph, didn't ya? No, you're getting Rapsittie Street Kids instead. So I looked through the credited artists and animators for the movie on IMDb, and none of them have any strong credentials. It really does seem that these people had no experience and were told, hey, let's go make a movie. Which leads to the biggest question of all. How the actual hell did this end up on television? I have a theory of how this happened, and I can only imagine it's been brought up by other people before, but whatever, I'm gonna say it anyway. So, I believe that any financial investments that this movie received were dumped into voice actors and singers, and not into the animation department. Rapsittie has some amazing voice talent attached to it. Jodie Benson, Mark Hamill, Greg Griffin, Paige O'Hara. It's very possible that the alleged $500,000 investment was mainly used on these VAs, while the rest of the production team got the breadcrumbs. So, that means that Christopher Rose or Colin Slater or somebody had a connection with these voice actors or their agents. I'm thinking maybe Nancy Cartwright. I mean, she is listed as a producer, so maybe Colin or Christopher were able to convince her and then access her connections. But I think the combination of having big voice actors and also utilizing 3D animation was enough to convince the right people to get this movie onto television. Like, it legit blows my mind that it made it that far to begin with. That nobody said, hey, no, stop. But hey, I guess it was full steam ahead, and this was our final product. By the way, I hold no animosity towards the voice actors. A job is a job, and you move along with your life. My disappointment mainly stems from the leaders of this production, primarily Colin Slater. There are even rumors that Colin allegedly kept most of the money for the movie, instead of using it to hire competent animators. Needless to say, Rapsittie Street Kids Believe in Santa was a massive failure and would eventually fade into obscurity. It was also lost to the ages for well over a decade following its television premiere, but would eventually resurface on the internet in 2015. That, my friends, is when it would pass into legend. Oh, and get this. Apparently, there was going to be a sequel. Yeah, Rapsittie Street Kids, A Bunny's Tale. That's right, Colin Slater was already gearing up to capitalize on the coveted Easter demographic. But lo and behold, it did not happen. But could you imagine if it did? Maybe Ricky could have gotten his hands on a Video Box 5. Or perhaps Grandma could have told us about the wonders of Easter.
Christmas. Yeah.
Okay, so what's the movie about? Well, it's your typical Christmas story with clip art and Comic Sans, and a song that sounds like it's from the opening of an off-brand Tim Burton film. Our main character is Ricky Rogers, a boy from the, I'm gonna say, 5th grade? The only reason I'm guessing that is because he goes to an elementary school. But honestly, it could have been a high school, and I still wouldn't have been able to tell the difference. Also, they spelled excellence wrong. We're off to a great start, aren't we? So Ricky here played a little too much Parappa the Rapper, and tries to rap whenever he talks. Don't know why. It has nothing to do with his character. He just does. And I can't help but wonder, did these dumb writers include this because Ricky is short on cash? Ricky has a crush on a girl in his class named Nicole, a run-of-the-mill, snobby, popular kid. She's mean, she's full of herself, and she only cares about stuff. Other kids in the class include the bullies, the nerdy girl, and of course, Smithy, that incorrigible class clown who just says the most outrageous of things.
Yeah, Nicole. Sit pretty.
Not funny.
But Ricky has a plan. He wants to win Nicole's heart. So what does he do? He gives to her a gift that he holds very dear. His sometimes 2D cutout stuffed teddy bear. The same teddy bear that was given to him by his dead mother before, and I quote, "The angels took her away." Your mom's dead. But Nicole flips out when she gets the bear. Like, this girl not only verbally eviscerates Ricky, but she keeps the bear and then throws it away. Like, talk about insult to injury. But hey, at least Ricky was able to fire off a line before running home with his broken legs.
You might be smart with books, but you sure are stupid. I give you a real gift, and you don't get it.
Disgraced and heartbroken, Ricky writes up a letter to Santa and asks for the hottest new game console. The PlayStation I'm just joking. It's the video box. Oh yeah, check out those graphics. Oh, and he also mentioned to Santa that he gave his dead mom's bear to Nicole. Not really sure why he's mentioning that particular bit of information to Santa, but whatever. We got a song number.
Look at me, look and you'll see the best kid in the world. Look at me, look and you'll see just how good I can be.
Mind you, this performance is from Paige O'Hara, the voice and singing voice of Belle, a character from a film that was nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars back in 1992. Oh, Paige, what did you get yourself into with this movie?
On Christmas Eve, old Santa will see the best kid in the world is me, don't you see?
And you know what goes well with bad songs? Committing a federal crime. As we see Nicole here open a letter that is clearly not hers. It's great because she sees it from her window and she's like, why is there a letter in my yard? Oh well, I better open it. At this point in the movie, Nicole has a change of heart. Was it convincing? Was it earned and heartfelt? No, she just read the letter and pulled a 180 with her character. Also, remember how I said that Ricky was the main character of the movie? Well, he is. Until he isn't. At this point in the film, Nicole steals the spotlight and we don't see Ricky until the end of the movie. Like, there's a legit 20-minute portion of the film where he just disappears. Instead, we get Nicole, the nerd girl, and Smithy as they run around the dump like idiots looking for Ricky's bear. They find it, Nicole keeps it, I guess, and then Nicole gives her video box to Ricky, saying that Santa sent it to her house by mistake. Oh yeah, I didn't mention that, did I? You see, having faith in Santa is a major theme in this movie. Even though Nicole deliberately mocks her friends for believing in Santa, but then sings a song right afterwards acknowledging Santa, but then later on lies to Ricky covering for Santa, only for everyone to see the silhouette of Santa at the end Christmas. All right, so what are my overall thoughts about this movie? Oh man, let me get my list. Let's start with the story. I know that the animation is the main attraction when it comes to Rapsittie, and it's the main reason why people talk about it to begin with. But I personally think that the story is as equally bad as the visuals. I saw comments online that said that Rapsittie would be fine if it wasn't for the animation, but I completely disagree. There are just as many issues with the story and the characters as there are with the animation. Well, maybe not that many, but pretty damn close. The overall theme of the movie is, unsurprisingly, believing in Santa, but I'm not sure what the film was trying to get at. Ricky believes in Santa. Nerd Girl believes in Santa. But what does that mean though? Like, is it the actual Santa himself? Or is it the idea of Santa and goodwill towards others? Are you a Santa denier or are you a Santa believer? It doesn't really matter though, cause the entire movie is empty regardless. Why should I care for Ricky? Cause he's bullied? Cause his mom is dead? He's annoying and awkward and only exists to make Nicole feel bad. And guess what? Nicole's change of heart was very dumb. She just reads a letter, and that was enough to completely change her character. Give me something to work with here. Why not drill into Nicole having material goods, but her family ignores her? That she's lying to herself when she flaunts around her things. And in reality, she wants a loving family and friends. That by helping Ricky, she can return his bear, something that is meaningful. That believing in Santa actually means in believing in what he represents. Generosity, love, and kindness. But no, instead we get a pony that was left out in the snow and froze to death. Also, the dialogue is terrible too. There was one comment from Nicole where she says, "Hey Ricky, who gave you that candle?" And the nerd girl is like, "That was a really mean thing to say." What? Yeah, Nicole's comment was weird, but I didn't think it was cruel. The editing was very poorly done and includes sound effects that are loud and repetitive. There's like a wind chime sound effect that is used over and over and over again.
And no more. I'm not selfish, I'm just driven.
And the music? Ho, is it bad? The background music is incredibly plain, and the lyrical songs are like nails on a chalkboard. Like, check out these lyrics.
Look at me, my room's spotless, everything in a row. Look at me, brush my teeth twice, behind my ears are so clean.
Again, folks, that's Belle, the person who sang this song.
But there's something in him that I simply didn't see.
And let's pour one out for Mark Hamill, a man who was involved in not just one, but two of the worst Christmas specials ever made. Speaking of voice actors, I was not impressed. Yes, there were some talented VAs who worked on this movie, but their direction was terrible. And that's entirely the fault of the writers and the director. There were also some voice actors who aren't talented, such as Ricky's VA and Smithy's. And I swear, Smithy's voice actor changes up his performance like 3 times throughout the entire film. It's very inconsistent. On top of that, I can also hear pops in the recordings. You know, the I can only imagine that these voice actors recorded on different equipment in different locations. And that's why everything sounds so sloppy and disjointed. And guys, I haven't even mentioned Grandma's recordings. Allegedly, her lines were so unusable that the editor just said, "Screw it," and chopped up her audio into incoherent chatter instead. If that is true, then just God, wow.
Oh, see, for the kids nowadays.
And finally, there's the animation. I've seen some really ugly movies in my time, but Rapsittie Street Kids, on a visual level, is an affront to the senses. It's like the animation team deliberately tried to make something that is cursed. First off, the character designs, they look like animatronic sex dolls. And some of them don't even have kneecaps. They look and move like Cotton Hill. I've seen some bad 3D animation before. And sometimes I wonder if things would have looked better in 2D. Take, for example, Delgo. It had concept art that was in 2D, and I personally believe that it should have stuck to that path. Rapsittie Street Kids, though, has 1 bit of 2D concept art, and it looks bad. This is the stuff that's supposed to sell your idea to buyers. So that means someone saw this and said, "Oh yeah, that is totally worth $500,000. There's body clipping. The textures on the clothes, skin, and ground look awful. There's bizarre tracking with the characters and the backgrounds. There's generic clip art assets. The pupils of the characters don't move at all. The snow effects look like they were done with a spray can tool from Microsoft Paint. The models lag at times. A majority of the assets are jagged and pixelated. And finally, there's this weird thing where some of the 3D models are cut out, like cardboard, and look flat. I mean, the entire movie itself already feels flat since the lighting is terrible and offers no depth. But like, look at this scene with Nicole holding the bear. It looks like it's made of paper. Again, this film looks like it was created with the intention of looking cursed. But the fact that it wasn't kind of makes it more cursed. Like, wow, you all actually tried? Dang, better put this movie back in the Ark of the Covenant. And get this, while I was researching this topic, I stumbled across a Re-Animatic video of Rapsittie on YouTube by a person named the Slinky Kid. They did more in 8 minutes and for free than the original movie did with 40 minutes and $500,000. Let that sink in. So overall, Rapsittie Street Kids Believe in Santa is undeniably terrible on every single level. It is a testament to how bizarre Hollywood can be and how just knowing the right person is sometimes more important than actually having the merit and skills for a good idea. But here's the thing. Let's say that this movie was just meh. Meh animation, meh voice acting, and a meh story. Well, guess what? There is a very good chance that we wouldn't be talking about it right now, would we? But it being so awful, so incompetent, so offensive to the senses, well, It etches out a place in animation history and will forever be remembered as the worst animated Christmas movie that was ever made. And that's saying something. I've seen the Nuttiest Nutcracker, I've seen the Christmas Tree, and I've seen Christmas in New York. But none of them quite compare to the dumpster fire that was Rapsittie Street Kids' Believe in Santa. Now stay in the garbage and never come back. So, a big shout out to this video sponsor, Babble. It's the #1 language learning app in the world, with more than 10 million subscriptions worldwide. So for those who don't know, I have a second channel that translates my videos from English into Spanish, and I've also been making an effort to better understand the language. There's more to this world than just English-based content, and learning a new language is a wonderful way to expand your horizons, whether it's for work or for play, or just trying to challenge and improve yourself. Also, there's just something really cool about a person who is bilingual or multilingual. Like, I have a friend who speaks Japanese, and I just sit in awe whenever he translates things or speaks the language. I have so much respect for people who take the time to teach themselves when it comes to speaking another language. And Babble is a great tool to help in that pursuit. Babble is genuinely different than other apps or learning methods, and it has a bunch of wonderful features too. For example, there are no ads. Thank God for that. There's a ton of free content, such as linguistic podcasts, and best of all, it is truly effective. Studies have shown that 15 hours of Babble equate to an entire semester of college Spanish. Again, I want to improve my content and make it more available to people who speak other languages, and I'm currently making an effort to do that for viewers who speak Spanish. Also, I think it makes me look more professional. I know that knowing a language makes any person more desirable when it comes to a work application. Plus, it's just cool to know another language. You come across as more competent, intelligent, and a person of culture. So, check out Babble today and get up to 65% off a Babble subscription. This is a limited time offer, so hit it up as soon as you can. Lo recomiendo altamente.